let's wrap this up with the big award, man.
The big award. So we're going to do most valuable player. Instead of giving you 3 players, we're going to give you 5 players, kind of give you a pseudo preview of like what maybe our first team all NBA would be. And also just because we know who the top 3 are going to be. So we kind of want to give our like kind of 2 guys that aren't going to win the MVP, but like had really great seasons, and we should acknowledge them. That's kind of how I view it by doing the top 5.
Yeah.
Who do you want me to go 5 first or you?
Yeah, go for it. Why don't we just list off our 5 and then discuss it?
Okay. My 5th pick, Luka Doncic. 4th place MVP vote, Jason Tatum. 3rd place, Joel Embiid. 2nd place, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 1st place, Nikola Jokic. You made a face when I said Jason Tatum at 4.
Not an upset face, more of a surprise face.
Look, man, with Tatum, I just go, this team has been maybe the best team in the league after the first few months. New coach, trying to get things down, try to figure out what works. And once they figured out what worked, good God, he's been amazing and the team's been amazing. And if I'm going to put Luka 5, who they knew what worked the first few months of the season, Luka just needed to get on a treadmill before and after every practice to make it work. You know, that's kind of how I view it. And it's just like, Tatum's a really good defensive player, probably a little overrated, but he's got good defensive utility, and his isolation scoring on a team that, like, granted, like the way that roster is constructed, he's not going to get like those easy calorie efficiency stats that like you look for a lot of times, but he can score super tough buckets. He takes threes, makes threes. His passing has really improved as the season's gone on. You know, when the Celtics make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and they match up with the Bucks, and it's a monster, amazing series that we're both going to love, like, he's going to be the guy that if the Celtics make it to the finals is going to win it for them. I don't know if he can over Giannis, but like, I'm super high on Tatum as a player. Think he's great. I think this is like his, like, he broke out, and this is like the next step. And then, you know, the next 5 years, he's going to be in the MVP conversation perennially.
Yeah, no, you make a good case. I'll give you mine, and then we'll discuss it a little further.
Sounds good.
I feel like you're about to make a face, possibly, but 5, Devin Booker. 4, Luka Doncic. 3, Joel Embiid. 2, Nikola Jokic.
You're a fucking bitch. Shut the fuck up.
And no, I mean, it's obvious. It's pretty
Bones
obvious.
Island.
Bones Island, baby. Yeah. No, obviously Jalen Green. That's a double joke, is what we call that. It's Giannis.
Oh man, I can't believe you gave it to Giannis. What the fuck is going? Okay, well let's jump to that, because we both had Embiid at 3. We can talk about that later. Booker at 5. I totally get. He's had a really good season. He's been there for the best team in the league. If you value team success, which I think you do a bit more than I do,
yeah,
you know, 100% makes sense to be in the top 5. Great stats. Love everything about it. Both had Luke in the top 5. But I do go, what puts Giannis over Jokic for you? Because I could make that argument. I just don't agree with that style of thinking. So what is it?
Well, you know what puts him ahead. You basically already said it.
It's that I think what ends up happening is people do this thing where they go, MVP. Who would I want in like a 1-game scenario? Who do I think is like the better player? And I think it is Giannis. I think like Giannis in a 1-game scenario, I would take over Jokic. I think Giannis is a better player than Jokic. But I fundamentally go, it's most valuable player of this season. And it's like, it's not about 1 game or 1 possession or even 3 games or 5 games. It's about 82 games. How many of them do you play, and how well do you play them? How well do you play in them and over those minutes? And I think, like, to me, it's just like Jokic clearly has been the best player over the duration of the season. And while I agree Giannis has like another level compared to any player in the league, I go, Jokic is like right behind him on that level, maybe even better offensively, if we're going to be completely fucking honest.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just more fucking consistently amazing throughout the year. And that's what the award is trying to, in my mind, that's what the award is trying to reward. not who's the best player. Because, if we did the who's the best player in the league thing and like who do we believe in the most, LeBron would have like 12 MVPs.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, this is probably like the most vacuous award, right? Like in terms of the criteria is so hard to really pin down. Um, I am not much of a traditionalist in life, right? But I like for the league to preserve certain historical uh precedents. And I feel as if the award has always gone to like a top 2 or 3 seed. And I feel that to abandon that
Fuck
precedent.
seeds. You can't, you do not bring up seeds. I'm cool with records. I can live with the people they want to reward records, but we cannot reward seeds because Jokic could have won more games than the Bucks, and he wouldn't have had a higher seed, very
Yeah,
likely.
that's true. That is
And
true.
I that to me, like, fundamentally is like, just you can't look at seeds, because to me that's just actually, that's a disingenuous argument fundamentally
I
to
guess
me.
I just feel like in a broader way that I like the award to go to a team, to a player on a team that I really see having a shot at winning the NBA championship. And
Fair.
the margins are narrow between the two of them in general. So I give it to Giannis because I see his team as a bona fide title contender.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
of course, I don't think your argument is ridiculous. Of course, I think Jokic is a very
no,
viable choice, you
no,
know?
look, I totally get it. You want to give an individual award to a guy because his teammates, who aren't the individual that's getting the award, are better. Look, man, to me, the fundamental argument for Jokic is like, statistically, there is no argument. He's been the best player this season. Offensively, he's been the best player. If you want to say, oh, well, like defensive metrics are stupid, fine. Then you can't count Giannis's defensive metrics. Well, he's actually better. Oh, okay. Well, then let's you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you're gonna throw out defensive metrics, you have to throw them out for everyone, because then you're just literally gaming the system to get the result you want. Jokic is a better offensive player.
Jokic's defensive metrics have been really good, I think. He's number
No,
two
that's they
in
have.
review after.
And he's like number one in defensive box plus minus. My point being is that it's like, what ends up happening is people go, oh, well, like Jokic's defensive box plus minus, defensive Raptor doesn't actually count, but the other guys do. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's kind of been that like weird cognitive dissonance where it's like, oh, okay, like, I'm like, whatever. To me, Jokic, take a look at the rest of the Nuggets roster and tell me how this team has that many wins.
It's true.
I mean, like, they literally have like one guy who's played any amount of minutes that has a positive box plus minus. Like, to me, it's like this team, if it didn't have Jokic, would be competing with what? The Rockets, maybe, for the number one pick?
Oh, definitely.
Right. And like,
honestly, man,
but like, that's my point. Like, that to me, it's like, how fucking more valuable can he be? If you gave Jokic, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton, would that Nuggets team have more wins than the Bucks, even if they also kept Middleton and Drew?
Yes, I think probably. Yeah. Man, all right, you know what?
What are we doing here?
I let you admit when I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because I agree with you on the principle that, like, I do think Giannis is better. And
yeah,
the award is subjective. It's just like, to me, I go, Giannis has won back-to-back MVPs. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year. He's won a Finals MVP. You know, he's not in it anymore to win regular season awards. Jokic is still at that stage where he's winning regular season awards. And the reality is, he has to win MVP for this Nuggets team to have a fucking chance to make the playoffs. Like, that's how nuts it is. And any other year, even last year, when Jokic was also almost historically great, Giannis would have probably been, with this season he's had, been an MVP. It's just that, like, Jokic has had to do basically prime Michael Jordan, LeBron James shit this season to drag a pretty weak roster to the playoffs. And I just can't overlook that. The efficiency, the scoring, it's all insane. And like, it was like I was saying with a lot of these awards, like, guys stop winning awards because they stop putting in all this effort in the regular season that it requires to win it. And Jokic probably would be doing the same thing if he didn't absolutely have to play like this.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's a good case to make both ways. I think we agree it's a two-man race at least. Like,
Yeah.
Embiid had a lot of traction for a while there, but it's just not Embiid. Like, it's just distinctly not Embiid.
Him
And
bitching and moaning, I think, hurt him.
yeah, and I think Luca's got a good case, a decent case, but ultimately he was too shit for too large a portion of the year. Like, he's got a crazy statistical profile, and they have 50 wins, so like I feel like you have to say his name. But and then Devin Booker's not even assuredly the best player on his team. Like, I
Yeah.
actually don't think he is the best player on his team, but I think you have to give him a nod because of how well they played without Paul. So
Yeah.
there's two guys.
Let's talk about Joel Embiid, who we have third. Joel Embiid also is another situation where pretty much any other year outside of like peak LeBron, peak MJ seasons, he probably wins MVP.
Peak Harden, peak
Yeah,
Harden.
yeah. But
Yeah.
like, I would say like
He's having an MVP-esque season, yeah.
the season he's having wins you MVP like 60 to 50% of the time. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and probably even a bit higher.
Probably.
Like he's having an incredible, I think that what we need to highlight. Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic are all having MVP seasons. There can only be one this year. The memory of this season should be we saw three incredible players have incredible seasons that if this award could give out more than one trophy, all three would get.
Yeah. But there's a distinct third man. And that's just what it is, It doesn't take anything away from him, but
it's to me, the biggest issue I have with Embiid is that while he is a great scorer, he gets there for a center with not the efficiency you would think. He's a free throw merchant. And part of that's because he's so great, but like he takes a fuckload of shots. Because one of the things that I've started doing is when I look at how many shot attempts guys are taking, I don't look at field goal attempts. I take field goal attempts and then I take free throws and divide it by 2.
yeah, okay.
And that's not perfect because there's and ones and you can get fouled on 3-pointers. And there's also like technical fouls and like, fouls, like, when you're in the bonus and you get to take those. But I kind of view it that way. And I go and I look at it, it's like, Embiid's just shooting so much more than Jokic. And he's only scoring 3 more points. And Jokic is like taking way fewer shots. And he's just right there because they always go in.
Yeah, and he's the best passer in the league too.
And he's the best passer. And Giannis to me is just, I would say like he gives your team the best chance to win a championship of any player in the league right now.
I think there's almost no dispute. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, like we said, entering the season, I was like, why the fuck isn't Giannis the runaway best player in the world, best player in the league?
Yeah.
I
said Durant and Giannis. It's Giannis. It is. He's the best player in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, it was like, I was like, I think I said, I think it's still Jokic just because of what he can do night in, night out on offense. But like my whole point with that was like, he's done all the things that get you that title. And he beat the fucking dude that's now getting it. Like I thought people were overthinking it. They were overthinking. They're like, well, if Kevin Durant's foot was a little bit smaller, he would be the best player in the world.
Spots, right? But
yeah, if Harden didn't get hurt, if Kyrie didn't get hurt, it's like, if Harden and Kyrie didn't get hurt, Durant wouldn't have had to do that superhuman stuff. And would we have thought of him the same way?
No, we'd be saying the same thing we said about him with the Warriors, which is that like, well, he has to be on a super team to win, obviously. So if anything, he's more highly regarded for the series that he lost.
Yeah, that's actually the craziest thing is that I've never seen a player get more props outside of maybe like LeBron's series against the Warriors, which were like admittedly batshit crazy. I've never seen another player get elevated by a series they lost, let alone a second round playoff series.
Yeah. Let's sign it off, man. I don't think